Hey, I warned you, this could get corny and romantic. So honestly, I had never gone to one of these. Oh my god, I'm gonna get emotional. How are we going to make this work? I'm a Scorpio and he's an Aries. So on treatment Tuesdays, you see me without my hair done. On makeup therapy Thursdays, you see me without my makeup on. Now put those two together, it gets scary. And that is what my husband calls beautiful every morning. For richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, with and without makeup.
Between concrete walls, there's a place for us. I wanna go, do you wanna follow?
Hola gente, what is up my badass angels? Welcome to another makeup therapy Thursday where we exhale all the negativity in our lives. Anything that's wrong, we just go and inhale love and good vibes and positivity. There you go. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, the date night of the year, and that's what we're going to be most inspired by. And as I'm doing my makeup, we're also going to do a little bit of a love Q&A, a little bit of a girl chit chat. Some of you guys are very curious about my personal love life. I am a helpless romantic. I do feel like sharing some juicy details and anecdotes. Before we begin, I wanted to give a very special message to those of you who don't have a date for Valentine's Day, do not have a significant other, and that is okay. You are enough. And listen to me, girl, you know what you also are? A badass angel. So put on some lipstick and get out there with your loved ones, whoever they may be. And so let's just celebrate love in all its ways in today's video. Alright, so I have my skincare on. I'm currently using this Sumos Essence by Shiawasido. This is a Japanese brand. And I have already put a little bit of lip plumper. Use this one by Too Faced that's called Lip Injection Extreme. And I'm gonna start applying my foundation finally because on my skin, yeah, I'm kind of breaking out all over the place, so I wanna do this. So this is my Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. It is a drugstore. Problem solved. It's still a very good medium to full coverage foundation. I use this one right now in medium beige. Self-tanning. It is summer here in Argentina. Clearly, I'm way too pale to tan. So whoever discovered self-tanners, I tell you, they have my undying love forever and ever. And this is a $1 AOA beauty blender. It doesn't really bother me all that much that I have, you know, a couple of pimples. We're alive and so is our skin, and it tells us things such as, what did you eat last night? Bad girl. Can you guys see anything from there? Come closer, come. Don't be shy, come on. There we go. All right, so for my brows, I'm gonna start by brushing them up using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is in the shade Taupe, and by the way, if I get a little bit carried away talking to you guys, just know that in the description box you're gonna have all the products used listed. I only fill them in really lightly on the tail here. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention Paloma. She's the one who requested this makeup tutorial today. Gracias, Paloma, you have a beautiful name. And now I'm going to go in with this Sourcils Styler by Lancome. This is also in the lightest shade. It is the 01. Very expensive, so I only use it for special occasions, but it really gives me tons of volume and it helps me achieve that bushy brushed up eyebrow look. And with such brows, you give your significant other this look on Valentine's Day and he will get it. He will get it. Oh, I see a couple of Valentine's Day and love related personal questions coming here from you guys, and I will be replying that, but first I want to go and do my eyes. I kind of need to concentrate a little bit. When you think about a red dress or Valentine's Day, everybody goes for the red lip, right? Well, I'm gonna go for something different. We're gonna make the eyes the statement, the star of the look, and just bring all the attention over there. So I wanna keep all the rest hush hush, classy and tasteful. So I'm gonna start with this one right here, a little bit of this Sinai on the crease, and that is because it looks a little bit like a dark bronze color, but it does have kind of a red undertone to it. So I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but my dress is actually more of a brick red. It's slightly orange. Same shade on my bottom lashes, just creating a shadow. I'm going to go with this red right here that looks exactly like my dress today, and that is the shade Panjing. This is a matte shade, but it's still going all over my mobile lid. And now I'm going back in with that brush that I used for my transition shade and just blend that transition. Notice how I did not go all the way into the inner corner, almost like I left 1/3 out. On that third near the tear duct, I'm going to insert this kind of pinkish peachy shade that is called Bermuda, and it's going right in there. And I'm going once again with that red and these small shadow brush. This shade right here that is a shimmery kind of orange gold shade, that's called Morgana, and that's going right into the center for a pop of tiny bit of red once again with this flat brush. On the lower lash line we are going red. I always felt that this is the one palette for green or blue eyes. And I'm also gonna add a tiny bit of that light one on the brow bone. Since we're going for a combo of gold and red, brick red, and then brown tan, I actually thought that brown eyeliner would be very suitable. And this is a very normal one. This is the Rimmel Exxaggerate waterproof Eyedefiner in 212 Rich Brown. And what I like to do is only line kind of the outer area. I kind of tight line as I get closer to the center of my lash line, and then in the outer section I do the tiniest wing. I don't want to overdo it, like I said before. The only one thing I want to make sure is that it is pointing slightly upwards. All right, Q&A is coming, but before we do that, I want to pop in some magnetic lashes really quick for this video. But if you want like a more detailed tutorial on tips and tricks to really get your magnetic lashes in like that, let me know in the comments below. There we go, all snapped into place. So as you guys can see, these are kind of cat eye. Now a little bit of Benefit They're Real in the inner portion, just in there so that we complete the look. And same mascara on the bottom lashes to balance things out. Master Kajal by Maybelline in the waterline. Are you guys liking how this is looking? I am very pleased. So as you guys can see, it's very heavy on the eyes. We're gonna go very hush hush on the rest of the face to kind of balance things out. There is a tiny bit of fallout, but do not worry because we're going in with concealer, and of course I'm going to use my favorite one, the Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, and we're going to be answering some questions. The first one is, do you celebrate Valentine's Day? And that is actually a really good question for a couple of reasons. The first one being, of course, I don't live in the US, I live in Argentina. And actually, in Argentina, Valentine's Day really was not a big deal up until, I want to say, 6 years ago. It's definitely something that growing up I was watching more in the movies. My parents did not make a big deal out of it, And yeah, nobody did. You didn't get like cards at school or anything like that. Being the hopeless romantic that I am, I always secretly wished that Valentine's Day would eventually become a thing here as well. And I guess my wish came true, didn't it? So it's still not such a big deal as it is in the US, but it is definitely a thing that couples do nowadays. And I guess the other reason for that question is if we celebrate Valentine's Day in particular. Yes, and I'm planning to go exactly looking like this on our date night this Friday. I have no idea where we're going, and I've been dropping hints to my husband the last couple of weeks. Pretty direct, actually. Remember that on the 14th we have Valentine's Day, huh? I'm pretty sure we're just gonna go out for a very nice dinner, which is exactly what I want. I am a very strong believer that love is a miracle. Hey, I warned you, this could get corny and romantic because I am both, and I am not ashamed of that. Yeah, I guess that kind of runs in the family. My parents have been married for like over 45 years, and they've been together since they were 19. They are so sweet to each other. I'm gonna do a very light contour with this contour cream right here in the Natasha Denona Sculpt and Glow palette. They've been together for over 45 years. They still walk holding hands like they just started dating. I love that. And they work together, guys. So that's like worth 80 years of marriage, if you ask me. A little bit on my jawline. Okay, so here Anna is asking, are you married, and if so, for how long? Thank you for your question, Anna. For blush, Benefit Cha-Cha Tint, which has a beautiful peachy orangey shade, and it's very liquid and creamy. I wear my wedding ring, I believe, on the wrong hand. It's just because, I don't know guys, it's more comfortable on this finger. We have been married since 2008, and in fact I'm going to insert right here in the eye at the corner the link to my wedding video so that you guys, if you're feeling romantic this Valentine's, you can take a peek. So yeah, next May is going to be our 11th year anniversary. Wow, more than a decade together. That's just crazy, and it really did go by so fast. For my social circle, I got married fairly fast. In fact, some people thought that we were like in a hurry. All right, I'm gonna go with a little bit of my Natasha Denona Invisible HD powder around my nose. All right, and the next question is from Megan. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Would love to hear all about your love story with your husband. How did you meet? And maybe your best relationship advice. Oh, that's a tough one. All right, so the lab story. I was finishing university. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually studied business administration. That's like my university degree. And back then, we're talking 2006, this new trend was to go out during weekdays to have drinks and dance, you know, clubbing. It sounds very strange to call it like it was a new trend, but back then in 2006 here in Buenos Aires, we used to wait for like at least Fridays or Saturdays after midnight, right? So this new trend was like on Wednesdays or Thursdays during a business day in the middle of the working week. People started to go out. There was not tons and tons of dancing, but there were some drinks and just some socializing. Keep in mind that on those days, people also dressed a lot more formally to go to work, right? So I'm driving my car coming back from university, and this friend calls me. She worked at a bank downtown, and she tells me, Heidi, I'm on this list that we can just go for free to this new place, this after office. That's what this type of early evening clubs were called. So honestly, I had never gone to one of these. I was in a mood to try new things. I was like, I'm studying way too hard. I'm young. I need to live life a little bit more. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of my Chanel Soleil Teint de Chanel. This is a cream bronzer that's really nice, just to warm up the contour of my face. I say yes to my friend, and I remember vividly, you know, one of my best friends has forever been my cousin, and so I remember hanging out and calling my cousin to invite her to come as well. I was a little bit like, you know, I want to try new things, but with people that I feel comfortable with, and basically invited her to come with. And and she said, I always quote her to this date, "Oh no, sorry, I can't make it today, but be careful." You have to remember I'm her little cousin, right? Careful, because I went there and there's tons of pirates on suits. That cracks me up each time I remember, because of the irony. I met my husband that day. I'll give you the short version, because if not, we're going to be here forever. But basically, he was and still is a very handsome young man. So he approached me and he said, "Hey, what's your name?" And I thought for a moment, am I gonna give him my real name? Like, my name is Heidi. My real name is Heidi Gutenberg. And there are not many people in my country with my name that I know of. I think I know one other Heidi, and it's a very strange name that really sticks with you, and he was a perfect stranger. You have to remember that. And I don't know why in that moment I kind of trusted him. There was something really transparent about him and his smile and his eyes. And again, he was very handsome. Yeah, so I said Heidi, and he replies, "Oh my god, I'm Pedro." Like, I'm Peter, right? Peter is Pedro in Spanish. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I grew up being called Heidi in a country where nobody's called Heidi, and where the cartoon Heidi is very, very popular. It was a Japanese manga. So just so that you guys understand, for those of you who did not watch that Japanese manga, Heidi is an orphan girl who lives with her grandfather in the Swiss Alps. She meets there Peter, or Peter if you watch it in German, and they basically become very close friends. First of all, because they're just kind of alone there in the mountains, and second of all, because there's some chemistry between those two. And then when they grow up in the book, not in the cartoon, but in the book, because there's a book from like 1800s that's called Heidi, they eventually get married, have kids, and all those things. So I guess what I'm going with this, guys, is that actually it was not the first time guy would tell me, "I am your Peter," or "I am your Pedro," or something like that, just as a joke, you know, as a pickup line. So of course I was like, you know what, I kind of get that a lot. Is that your real name? And he went ahead and showed me his ID, and yes, indeed, he was called Pedro. Coincidence. We actually only dated for about 2 months before my husband started talking about marriage. He's a very real person. He was very interested. He showed his interest, and I just felt like I could be myself with him all the time and show him, you know, good and bad. We just felt so comfortable, and I'm not saying that we are perfect people. We're like imperfectly perfect for each other. I always felt like he loved me for who I am, and it's not like I have to be or do or say or have a certain thing to be loved by him. And that's a very pure, sincere way of love. Oh my god, I'm gonna get emotional. No, I'm not. About 2 months into the relationship, he was really working really hard and traveling throughout Latin America at the time for his work. And I remember on one of his phone calls, at just 2 months, he already started talking about marriage, and I kind of did not believe him, because I was like, you know, he's just being nice, he's just being cute. Oh my god, I totally forgot about the makeup. Lips. Okay, gonna do something really simple, like I said. So anyways, he returned, and keep in mind, we just had been dating for 2 months. He had been away for most of those 2 months. We kind of were long distance at that point. When he came back, he was asked to go away again. And that was a crossroad for sure, because I was literally crying and saying, how are we going to make this work if you keep traveling? Like, it's kind of impossible. We don't have enough foundations to survive this from such an early stage? Well, he ended up leaving that job for another job that allowed him to travel a lot less and was still a very good move for his career. This was something that he wanted to do, and it was a great love gesture towards me. I feel that I would be more prepared for very heavy traveling on his end, but back then we were just so new, you know. Oh, by the way, this is Mac, my Twitty. So that really showed me back then, and I feel that has happened over and over again throughout our life together since 2006 up until now. Two things: that we are always very much in love, and that he always puts me first. I'm almost done with the story, but I want to mention that this is from the Powder Kiss lipstick collection that has a very kind of blurry effect, very subtle, and I don't have like very harsh lines. I also feel that always benefits my lips that are very thin. So he changed his job, and I was kind of almost like half of the week in his house. We couldn't really separate, not because this was something planned. I always thought I would just get married and live with the person afterwards. I'm kind of traditional like that. I know it's crazy, like nowadays I would never advise someone to do that. So after 7 months more or less of dating, half living together, he proposed like officially with a ring and everything, and then we moved in together, and we were living together and engaged for about 12 to 14 months, mostly because I was finishing my thesis and I needed some time for that. I had also just started a job in marketing, and I was just getting adjusted to that as well. I had to plan a wedding, and I really wanted to be, you know, a very nice wedding. Those were very, very busy days. Oh, and by the way, the day we got married, we entered the dance floor with a remix version of Heidi and Peter, the cartoon song. I kind of like how the hair looks up, but I'm planning to actually wear it down, so I guess you get both looks. And I guess as far as relationship advice, girls, I would say don't go into marriage or any relationship, or don't move in with someone thinking everything is going to be perfect. I'm a Scorpio and he's an Aries, so lots of passion and truth in our relationship. Like, we tell each other like it is, and that can get a little bit hurtful sometimes, so we have learned to communicate a lot better, and we do fight because we have very strong personalities. That being honest and being real and having the decision of being with this other person no matter what, and when I say no matter what is as long as the other person also like respects you, right? And I don't want to get emotional here. I really want to keep this all very like positive, and that's kind of my goal with this channel, for me and for you guys as well. But many of you guys have watched a video where I have shared my health challenges throughout different moments in my life, and my husband has literally been with me through thick or thin, in sickness and in health, and really he has been my rock, ironically, the meaning of his name. In fact, many of you guys know that I have been pregnant multiple times, but sadly my body's not able to healthy carry a pregnancy through its completion. So that has also been very challenging, and in my mind I always thought, I kept losing babies, am I also going to lose my partner, you know? Love is such an amazing and powerful and energizing force that really is able to really lift you up. So yeah, that's my story. What is yours? I have overshared way too much on this video, so please let's even things out. At the very least, comment on your relationship status, like something simple like Facebook. You know, it's complicated, in love, in a relationship, single. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of this cream highlight here on the highest point of my cheekbones. Very natural, almost wet. And we are done with all this red-eyed look. I hope you enjoyed this video, hanging out with me, a little bit of chit chat, and also getting to know me a little bit better. We definitely need a lot more lovers and a lot less haters in this world. That sounded a lot better in my head than it came out. So sorry, but I think you understand where I'm going with this. I invite you to have the courage to love, even though it makes you feel more vulnerable at times. Stay brave. Living is believing, and remember, you are a badass with the heart of an angel. And I will catch up with you guys on Tuesday. Ciao.
Do you wanna follow? Baby,
Do you wanna follow? Click here.